Hey y'all, I haven't been making videos lately. I've been real busy. I got a lot going on in my life. A lot of people, I seen some people comment, "Oh, more and shit." It's been like 9, 10 days since I made a video, and I know I gotta try to be consistent. But with shit that's going on right now, I'm about to start house arrest and all this other bullshit's going on. So I'm kind of focused on that. But I got a story for y'all today. It's not like a typical story, like stories that I've been telling, and because I want to kind of change it up a little bit and tell other stories, because I got a lot of stories in my life and experiences that I like to share with people. And this one, I don't know if y'all believe in ghosts. I don't know if you guys believe in spirits or like another world or whatever. I believe in ghosts. I believe in spirits. I believe in God. And, I believe in the spiritual realm and stuff like that. Well, this is a ghost story. And it was one of the creepiest things that ever happened in my life. And I'll never forget it. It's so vivid. It's still in my mind. And I still don't know the explanation to this and everything that occurred. I still think about it to this day. I'm like, man, that was really creepy. Now that I'm older and I think about it, because it happened when I was young. Well, so it was me, my mom, her boyfriend at the time, which is my little brother, is his dad, his biological dad. He's never been in my little brother's life. So me, my sister, my mom, my mom's boyfriend at the time, and then my little brother was just born, and his dad had a daughter that was my age with another woman, and she would come visit us sometimes. Well, we moved to this house. Since growing up, we always moved town to town, city to city, house to house, apartment to apartment. We was never like stable. Like we never had a place where we really grew up at or anything like that. We ended up moving to this small town. Like it was like almost on the outskirts of this town. And it was like a one-story house with like 3 bedrooms. It wasn't a very big house, but it wasn't small. It had a backyard and a shed and shit. Well, we moved there. At the time, my mom was still young. I'm like, how old was I? So my little brother was born in 2005. So I was about 8 years old, 9 years old. Well, we're all at this house. Me, my mom, my mom's boyfriend, my sister. We got the same dad. My little brother. And then my mom's boyfriend had his daughter come stay the weekend with us, And then I asked my mom if my friend could stay the night, which was my mom's boyfriend's nephew, right? And we all knew each other growing up and shit like that, but that was like my best friend. So he came and stayed the night. We're all hanging out. My mom at the time, she was young. She was in her 20s still. She had me young. My mom is still young. She had car problems or something. I don't know. We didn't really have a vehicle at the time. And in this town, it was so small that there was no gas station or nothing there. But there was a pop machine. And my mom, she loves pop. She loves Dr. Pepper, bro. To this day, that's all she drinks is Dr. Pepper. She actually got so dehydrated one time and passed out in a gas station bathroom because she drank fucking Dr. Pepper like it was water, right? So she's like, man, I need a pop and shit. And her boyfriend, he like, well, I'll watch the kids walk to the pop machine. Give me one too, actually, She's like, all right. It's late at night. It's like 10, 11 p.m. Dark as hell outside. We're all in the house. We're young. I'm like 8, 9. My sister is a year older than me. My mom's boyfriend's daughter is like my age, exactly my age. My friend, his nephew, was about 2 years older than me. So we're all in the house playing and shit. Running around acting like kids. He's watching us. I think he's playing a video game. Playing like PS1 or some shit. I don't know. Well, we're all acting crazy as hell, running around. And my mom's like, all right, well, I'll be back. So she grabs some change and she leaves. She comes back like 15 minutes later. And she's got the pop and shit. She was like, what were you guys doing in the backyard? And he was like, we never went outside. Like, we're all in here. Like, I'm sitting here doing this, and the kids is running around and shit. She was like, what? She was like, when I came back, I saw a man. We had a pool. Like one of those inflatable pools. It was kind of big, but not, like, huge. But she said that there was a man staring into the pool. Like, just standing there, just looking into the pool. Well, she said that there was also, like, 4 or 5 kids running around in the backyard playing and shit. And there was, you know, me, about 4 of us, and then my little brother. So it sounded like it would make sense that it was us out there. But when, like, as she was walking back to the house, she was looking in the backyard and saw us, went to the front door, into the front door, and we're all right there. And he's right there in the living room. So that's why she was confused. She was like, what were you guys doing? Were you guys just in the backyard, you know? No, we wasn't. Well, I saw a man staring into the pool, and there was, like, kids out in the backyard playing. Like 4 or 5 of them. He was like, what? He was like, then he goes and looks out the back window. Nothing's there. And he's like, guys. And he's talking to us, and we're like, what? We stop what we're doing. We're like, what? And he's like, did you guys go outside? We're like, no, we've been in here the whole time. It's dark outside. We didn't have no street lights, nothing. It was dark as hell in the backyard. Ain't no way I'm going outside. Ain't no way. So I was like, oh, let's go check it out. Well, all the other kids are scared, but me and my sister, like, we're not, you know what I'm saying? We're curious kids, and we'd be, like, getting ourselves into shit. So we follow them out the front. They go out the front. My mom's boyfriend is in front of her. She's behind him, and we're, like, by my mom, like, up against my mom, like, holding her shirt and shit. And we look around, and he's like, hey. We had a tarp, a pool cover tarp, and it was hanging on a clothesline or whatever it's called. And there was a shadow. It was like a man's shadow. Like, move his head like this. You could see it, but I couldn't see nobody. I didn't see nobody. I guess he said that he saw somebody. And he was like, what are you doing in my yard? And then all of a sudden he turns around and starts talking to us. And he's like, there's somebody back there. I got to go back there and make sure that nothing weird is going on. He goes back there, then he comes back to the front, and he's like, nobody's there. And then we were like, we always just like, we just saw somebody, right? We go inside the house. We're all kind of freaked out and shit. Well, he keeps going out and checking. He's checking the whole yard and everything. He's got a flashlight. Nobody's there. Nothing in the yard has been disrupted. And we just go on about our night, but we're all kind of shooken up, like, what the hell? Well, it was like a couple months later, my grandma, God rest her soul, I love her so much, man. I don't know if I talked about her yet, but that was like my best friend. My grandma, on my dad's side, it wasn't my mom's mom, but my grandma's always been in our life, so she was trying to come visit us. And my mom and my grandma really didn't get along a lot of the time. So my mom didn't tell her where we lived or anything like that. She stayed like a town or 2 over, maybe like 2 towns over. And she kept on calling my mom. Back then we had the flip phones. And she's calling my mom all the time. I want to see the kids. I want to see my grandkids. Finally, my mom's like, yeah, we moved to and gave her the address. She was like, you can come see the kids. So she comes to see us, and we're all grandma, and we're hugging her and shit, and, you know, we're all, and my grandma was young as hell too back then. Like, she was like in her like early 40s, you know. I'm like 9 years old. She's in her early 40s. So her and my mom, they're cordial. They're sitting there talking and in the kitchen or whatever, I forget. But they're sitting there talking and joking around and shit. They're being cordial with each other, even though they didn't really get along a lot of the time. Well, my grandma finally says, like, oh, wow, I can't believe you live here. And my mom was just like, what do you mean you can't believe I live here, you know? And she's just like, well, this is where those kids died at. And she was like, what? What do you mean this is where the kids died at? She was like, yeah, it was on the news and everything. I could show you if I could find it. She was like, apparently, she told my mom that there was a man and a woman that lived in that house, and they had like about 4 or 5 kids, and some of the kids' friends was over playing with them. And right there in front of the house, there's a busy, like, it's not really busy, but it's like a, if you ever lived in the country or like the outskirts of somewhere, like the highways, they're like, even though there's speed limits, people don't abide by them, and trucks and shit will just fly, vroom, you know. And really, in those type of areas, there's not speed limits put up, you know, so people just do what they want to. Well, apparently, all these kids was out playing in the front yard, and they made their way out to the street right there on the highway. And I guess a truck, like a semi-truck, came through speeding. Couldn't slow down quick, because in a semi-truck, you can't just stop abruptly. You know what I mean? It takes a little time to stop. Well, I guess it was flying through the front of the street, in front of our house. And all the kids was playing in the road, like playing hopscotch or whatever the hell kids do. And the semi-truck smoked all the kids. God rest their soul. But killed them all. I guess it was like a bloody fucking scene. Like, it was horrible. Well, I guess the man and the woman, after that happened, all their kids got squished by the truck driver. They couldn't take it, whatever. They ended up breaking up, whatever. The man stayed at the house. And then he offed himself, eventually. He unalived himself, right? So, years later, maybe 5, 6 years later, is when we moved in there. And then my mom came home with the pops from the pop machine and said that there was a man in the backyard, about 4 or 5 kids, thinking it was us. But we never went outside. So when I heard her tell my mom that, I started getting scared. We ended up moving out of there. I don't know if it was because of that reason. I was too young to really pay attention to shit like that. But I kind of feel like that was the reason, or whatever. I don't know. But that was creepy as hell. And that house was creepy as hell. I'd always hear shit. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the feeling of the house or whatever. Well, even the night that my mom went walking to the pop machine, she even said, I don't know what this means. I don't know what this symbolizes or whatever. But she was even explaining that when she was walking, it was dark out and she heard footsteps behind her. And she said that somebody was whistling what sounded like the Jeepers Creepers theme song. Like, Jeepers Creepers, where did you get those peepers? But it was a whistle. And every time she said that, she turned around to look, nobody was there. And then when she got back to the house is when she saw that shit in the backyard. So to this day, I don't know what exactly all that was, but I just know it was creepy as hell. And when I'm thinking about it now, it's like, how do you explain that? How do you explain the kids getting unalived on the highway right in front of our house, and they lived in our house, and then all that shit, and the dad offing himself, and then my mom sees that, and all the weird, creepy shit. I remember one time, my mom's boyfriend's daughter wasn't there. It was just me and my sister in our room. And I think my little brother slept in the room with them. Well, we're in our room, and I remember this to this day. We were sitting there watching Land Before Time with the dinosaurs and shit. And I'm passing out. And I see a little girl that looked like I thought it was my mom's boyfriend's daughter, was in the corner of the room and just walking around and bending over and picking stuff up. And I remember just being like, looking and be like, what are you doing? I said her name. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, and she was talking to me, but I didn't really catch it because I was like half asleep, half awake. Well, my mom heard me talking. She comes in and she was like, what are you doing? Why are you still awake? I was like, well, because I'm talking to, and I said her name, and she was like, she's not here, And I was like, what? I just seen her. And that was creepy as hell, because she was like, no, you must have been dreaming. But I wasn't dreaming, bro. So, I don't know. Well, I still talk about the story with my mom sometimes and shit. We talk about it and everything. And You know, I'm a grown man now. I live somewhere else. I live in a whole different city now and shit. But, like, man, when I think about that story, that shit was creepy as hell. And that's one of many of things like that that happen. But, I don't know. I just wanted to do something different, I guess. Oh, my God. Anyway. Dude, I hate when people park right next to me. Like, there's all these spaces you could park at. Like, bro, like, why directly next to me? Like, what the fuck? Like, what you got going on, bro? Like, you want to feel loved or something? You want to feel like you're close to somebody? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's literally like 6 open spaces, like, over there. Like, you want to park literally right next to me. Close enough to where you can open the door and fucking ding my shit. Like, the hell is wrong with you, bro? Park over there. Anyway, that's just me venting. But anyway, so, yeah, I don't know. That was a ghost story. I got some other ones, but typically on this channel, I don't really focus on that type of shit. But I wanted to share that because that was an interesting story, and I still think about it to this day. So, plus I haven't uploaded in a while. I wanted y'all to know I'm still here and shit. I'm still free. I ain't been locked up yet. Hopefully I don't, but I gotta start house arrest tomorrow, which is stupid as hell. But anyway, hope y'all doing good, and like the new video.